This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, wonderful. So the session is getting recorded, I believe. My speakers are also up now. If you wanted to speak, you can speak. And I've shared my screen and I have unmuted myself. So everything is in place. So we can get going now. So now, in the last class, we have done the correlation. Why correlation needs to be done? Because we have some dynamic values. Okay. So without handling these dynamic values, your script usually fails. So that's the reason why the correlation needs to be done. Okay. If you're not handling the dynamic values, then the script is bound to fail. That's why the correlation needs to be done. Okay. So there could be one that okay, here is one more question, guys. Can we have more than one dynamic value in one script? What do you say, guys? Can I have more than one dynamic value in a script? People who have not worked ever in performance testing in the real-time project, they can ask me this. I mean, they can answer this question. What is your guess, guys? In a particular script, can I have more than one dynamic value which I have to handle? What do you say, guys? Yeah, Marietta says yes. Others, Achina, okay, Salayu. I want to hear from the 9 of them. Okay, there are 9 students total. Leslie, Osman, Raghu. What about others? Gaurav. Can I have more than one dynamic value, guys? Yes, you can have more than one dynamic value in a script. That is quite possible to have more than one dynamic value in the script. Okay, so which means that you need to, sometimes you might have to do more than one correlation in a particular script because there are more than one dynamic value. Okay, so what did we do yesterday? We have identified the dynamic values using the Jmeter. Okay, how did we identify the values? We have recorded the script twice and compared both the recordings, and whatever the value that is changing or doesn't match from script 1 to script 2, typically those are the values which we call them as dynamic in nature, and those are the values most likely than not you might have to. So in the example that I've seen, CSRF token was the dynamic value. Okay, so we would have to correlate the CSRF token. So what did we do to correlate the CSRF token? Okay, first this CSRF token, which we have identified that we need to correlate, we have to find that value in the response, not in the request, but in the response. Okay, and once we have found the whole value, there is nothing like a left boundary, right boundary concept here. We have to build a regular expression. Okay, then we modified the script to capture this dynamic value from the script. How? By using something called a post processor. What did we do? Using something called a post processor. And finally, we have made some appropriate changes in the script so that whatever the value that we have captured in the post processor, it can be passed on to the next steps. Okay, so okay, so there are some questions, okay, from yesterday. So let's try to answer that questions one by one. Okay, first things first, let's try to answer this $1. Okay, what is that $1? Let's have a quick look at it. Okay, and by the way, guys, some of you guys have left yesterday. There is a tool called JCorrelate, and it is working absolutely fine, guys. Especially, I would recommend to use this tool called JCorrelate in case if you have more than one correlation in your script. I believe JCorrelate will work. For using this JCorrelate, you would have to record the script twice. Okay, record the script twice, okay, and also capture the recording log in JTL, not in XML. Usually we capture in XML in JTL and upload all these 3 files into this JCorrelate website, and it is working. Yesterday, if you wanted to see how it works, just watch last 10 minutes of yesterday's recording, guys. You would know how it works. So maybe you can talk about this JCorrelate in your interviews as well. Okay, so I've seen it, I've seen that it's working, and it's a wonderful tool, I believe, especially if you don't want to go through the pain of correlating yourself. So this works like a butter. Okay, so just what you have to do, you have to record the same script twice, and also while recording you have to capture the recording log in the JTL file. You can capture it in CSV, you can capture it in XML, but you need to capture it in JTL. That's what it can accept. Okay, and it is working absolutely fine, guys, wonderfully fine. Okay, so just watch last 10 minutes of yesterday's videos. Okay, then you would get to know about it. Okay, so I think CF apps is what I was playing around yesterday. So let me see if this is what it is. Yeah, so wonderful. Okay, this is what we have done, CSRF token. If you have seen yesterday, our dynamic value was there in the response of login 364. So we have captured that whole value, and we have put dot star question mark here, and here we have put $1. Okay, and once the value is captured into CSRF token, we are using that value. You can use that value any number of times, but we have used only once here to pass that value into your next sampler, and we have used only once. But I'm telling you guys, you can use this any number of times, not just once, but any number of times. Once the value is captured, you can use it as many times as you want. But here I'm using it only once. Okay, so see guys, this is the regular expression extractor that I've built yesterday, and this is what we got it from the response. And from the response, wherever that dynamic value is there, we have put a dot star question mark in the closing braces and opening braces. Okay, what is that called, guys? This closing braces and opening braces, what do we call them? Any idea? What do we call them? There are 12 students in the class. Okay, it's a brackets. I know it's a closing brackets, opening brackets. We can call them as grouping. What do we call them as? Grouping. Okay, now now let's try to understand here now. Okay, hang on 1 second. Okay, okay, fine. So if you pay attention, guys, this was what we found it in the response. Okay, this is what we found in the response, and here was the CSRF token or the dynamic value. Okay, and this is what we have correlated. So what did we do? We simply replaced that with dot star question mark. Okay, dot star question mark, and we put the opening braces and closing braces. Okay, so here we are discussing not about the dot star question mark, which I will take it shortly. What is that? But what we are discussing here is, okay, what we are discussing here is the opening braces and the closing braces. What we are discussing here is the opening braces and the closing braces. So what is this braces? What is this braces? Okay, so now you see, without this braces, let's assume, okay, so now here is the dynamic value. Instead of a dynamic value, we have to replace it with a regular expression. So we have chosen to select dot star question mark for that. Okay, now directly I am putting this whole expression over here, whole expression over here. Now without the closing braces and the opening braces, which I call it as grouping. What do I call them as? What do I call it as? Grouping. Okay, I call it as grouping. So without grouping, if I put it over here, now Jmeter doesn't know what value to pull it out from here and assign it to CSRF token. Okay, Jmeter needs to know what is that value that needs to be pulled out from this whole expression and give it to CSRF token. To tell to Jmeter that this is the value that needs to be pulled out and given to Jmeter, what we are doing? We are grouping that particular thing. We are grouping that particular thing. Okay, so as I've told you yesterday, so if I group this, okay, so if I group this, So this value will be pulled out and given to CSRF token. Here in this case, method is what I have grouped. So now method will be pulled out and will be assigned to CSRF token. Yes, why or no? Yes or no? What do you say? Yes, yes, okay. Let's see visually with our eyes. Okay, this is a Jmeter variable. If I wanted to see anything which is there in the Jmeter variable, I can see it in the debug sampler in the view results tree. So let me go ahead and run it. So I'm looking at the debug sampler and CSRF token. Oh, it says okay. Hang on, 1 second. One second, guys. It is supposed to capture that. Okay, now is it? Hang on, there could be some issue. Yeah, the login is not happening properly. Okay, that's okay. But 364, if you look in the response, okay, it is able to identify that. That's not an issue. So we have grouped the method part. It is supposed to capture. Okay, hang on, guys. 1 second. Okay, so let me clear all and run it now. It is saying not found with respect to what you are capturing. Maybe we have done any mistake here. Is there a, guys? Is there an issue that I'm not able to identify here? What do you say? Maybe there is something here. CSR token $1. This is the same script from yesterday, right? Oh yeah, that's a problem. Okay, I have two forward slashes at the end. Hang on. Okay, I think I've figured out the issue. Okay, so if you go back and then CSR token. Okay. So yeah, there was some issue with the regular expression over here, guys. Without my knowledge, there were two forward slashes that was added. So that's fine. So what I was explaining is if I group this method, okay, if I group the text called method, now this text method will be pulled out and will be stored in the CSRF token. So to demonstrate that, okay, I'm executing the script now. Okay, now you see the text called method is assigned to a variable called CSRF token. Can you see that, guys? Can you see that with your eyes? Okay, yeah, you are able to see it, right? So whatever you group it, that value will be pulled out and will be stored in the CSRF token. Now that I have grouped method, the text method called the text called method was pulled out and stored in the CSRF token. Are we clear with this, guys? All of you? Are we clear? So grouping is very, very essential, guys. So there's only 2 students out of 12 students are responding, guys. This is not fair. Okay, I want everybody to respond. It's just I'm asking Y or N. All you have to type is the letter Y or letter No. Okay, okay, now look at it. There are 2 groups here. One group is here, and then there is another group over here. Okay, there is another group over here, and let's group something else as well. Okay, let's say there are 3 groups. Okay. Okay, so let's say there are 3 groups. Okay, now Jmeter gets confused as to which group value needs to be pulled out and stored in the CSRF token. At the same time, it cannot pull out 3 values and assign it to CSRF token. Only one value needs to be pulled out and will be stored in the CSRF token. Now there are 3 groups. Which group do you think should be pulled out and stored it in the CSRF token? What do you think, guys? Which one should be pulled out and stored in the CSRF token? Okay, so first group 1, 2 or 3. First group, second group, third group. You can say 1 or 2 or 3. Which one will be pulled out? If you had to design the Jmeter tool, which one do you think should needs to be pulled out and given to CSR token? How would you design it? Okay, 1. So without your knowledge, you are actually saying 1 because that's what you are putting it here. 1. You see, 1, it will be pulling out the value. It cannot be, this cannot be empty. Okay, you either have to give 1 or 2 or 3. Whatever the group that you give here, that value will be pulled out and will be stored in the CSRF token. Or is that so, Kumar? If I put 2, now the name will be pulled out and will be given to CSRF token? Yes, absolutely right. Okay, so let's look at the debug sampler. I want the second one. Okay, if you look at it, or not found, maybe I messed out a space over there. I know what I've done. Okay, I was playing around, there was an extra space here or something like that, or there should not be an extra space. Okay, let me run it. Okay, so you see, name has been pulled out and assigned it to the CSRF token. The very first time method was pulled out and assigned it to the CSRF token. The second time name is pulled out and assigned to CSRF token. Why is that? I've given the template as 2 here. Why is that? I've given the template as 2 here. Now if I give the template 3, what do you think will be pulled out and stored in the CSRF token, guys? What will be pulled out and stored in the CSRF token? Okay, can one of you unmute yourself and let me know? Okay, the CSRF value. Okay, so whatever this dot star question mark represents, what does it represent? The actual CSRF token which is changing all the time. Okay, it represents that one. That value will be pulled out and stored in the CSRF token because you said $3. And how do I remember dollar, Kumar? You know, it's hard for me to remember. You don't no need to remember. Just look at this, say template $I where I is the capturing group number. You see, I've been saying this as a group, right? So I capturing group number. So this group 1, this is group 2, group 3. So it is, they are already telling you how to give the syntax here. So you need not have to remember this $, as well. Just read through this and then you will understand. And it's also saying it starts at 1. Okay, so now the actual dynamic value, which is the CSRF token, which is represented by $question mark, will be stored in the CSRF token. To demonstrate that, I am running it. Wonderful. Now you see the actual CSRF token, which is represented by $question mark, is being stored in the CSRF token. Okay, so are we absolutely clear with this first one? What is the first question? Okay, what is this $1? Are we absolutely clear with that, guys? It represents the capturing group number. Okay, capturing group number. Okay, so that one is gone now. Okay, that one is gone now. So that question is answered. Now the next question is matching number. Okay, or default value. Let me start with the default value. Okay, so matching number, it takes a lot of time for me to explain. I'll take the whole day for me to explain just this one. Okay, this is simple default value. Should it be always not found? Okay, if I put it as empty, okay, let's see, will it still capture the value? Okay, okay, now there is a new debug sampler. You see, it is still capturing the value. Okay, it is capturing the value of the third group without any issues. Okay, so with or without this, you know, still it is able to capture here. Since it's a third group, it is capturing the value from the third group. If it's second group, it will capture from second group. First group, it will capture from first group. Not an issue. Okay, with or without this default value, it is still capturing. Why should we give some value to it? Okay, why should we give some value to it? Okay, for example, I messed up this regular expression. Okay, I messed up this regular expression, or this regular expression is good, but we are not getting the intended response. If we are not getting the intended response, then it will not be able to capture the values. So for whatever the reason, okay, so for whatever the reason, you are not able to pull out this value, which is $question mark, or this value, or this value. Let's say you are not able to pull out the value. Here we are not able to pull out the value because I have messed up the regular expression. I have messed up the regular expression. Now let's see what happens. Okay, now let's see what happens. Okay, now you see, CSRF token value is not printed at all over here. Okay, so you see, earlier it was printing the CSRF token. Now it is not even printing the CSRF token here. Okay, not even printing the CSRF token in the debug samplers. At least, you know, whether it is right or wrong or whatever it is, it's supposed to print it. But I messed up the regular expression so that my correlation fails. And if my correlation is failing, It is supposed to show it, but it's not showing it. Weird. Okay, fine. Okay, now I'll say not found here. Okay, I'll say not found here. I'll go ahead and run it. Okay, I'll go ahead and run it. Now you see, earlier it was not even showing the CSRF token, so you get confused as to what happened to CSRF token. Okay, but now since I said not found, okay, what did I say? Okay, default value is not found, so which means that to start with, CSRF token will be given this value which is not found. Then it will try to pull the value from whichever the group that you want. Then it will replace this value with the value that it pulls out. Okay, but the default value it gives is not found. Okay, so now it is saying not found. Now you know that, oh, there is an issue with the regular expression. That is the reason why it was not able to pull out my third group, which is $*, and assign it to here. Since it is not able to pull out and give it here, it is giving you the default value, which is not found. Okay, in this case, I know it is not, why it is not able to pull out the value and give it here, because I messed up the regular expression. I messed up the regular expression. Okay, but sometimes what happens is the intended response for this request, right? Login 364. In this response, you're searching for this particular expression, but you're not getting the right response for this, which means that this expression will not be valid anymore, and you will not be able to capture the value. In that case, by default, this value will be assigned to this. Okay, if you're not giving any value, you might end up seeing this kind of situation wherein it doesn't even show the variable name, which is CSRF token, and that will be a little confusing for you. Now if you say not found, if you specifically say not found here, okay, if you specifically say not found, you can give anything. You can give not found or not able to identify, it was not able to pull out, whatever it is, you just put it over here. That value will be shown up here. Okay, that value will be shown up here. Usually most of the performance testers will put not, okay, or able, or you can say not able to pull out the value. You can say that as well. Same thing will be printed out. Okay, same thing will be printed out. But why would you wanted to put such a big expression? Okay, why would you want to put such a big expression? Not found is good enough. People looking at it, you know, you yourself who is running this script after 1 year, okay, right away you know that, oh, there seems to be an issue with the CSRF token, okay, which means that either the regular expression is wrong, or the response of this request might not be what we wanted, or some issue is happening, is something that you will know. Okay, so not found is a good thing to add it. It's not mandatory, as I've told you. Okay, it's a good to add feature. Okay, so it's up to you what you wanted to put here. I usually put not found. Okay, so this is also is been taken care of. Okay, this is also is been taken care of. Okay, now now why build the regular expression, or what is this $? Both these questions are same. Let me try to answer this question. Okay, let me try to answer this question. Okay, I've already explained the regular expressions in my LoadRunner classes as to in detail what it is, but I'll try to go through it on the high level at this point of time. Okay, so for explaining that, let me use this website called Regex1.com. Okay, watch here carefully, guys. Watch here carefully. Watch here carefully. Okay. I want some expression which matches all of these what do you say, words here. There are 3 words here. One first word, second word, 3 word. I need to come out with some pattern, one single pattern which matches this one, which matches this one, which matches this one. Okay, let's see how we can do it. Okay, this can be done. Okay, we want to come out with one single expression which matches the above 3 words. Okay, it can be done using the concept called regular expression. This can be done using the concept called regular expressions. Okay, how it can be done, guys? It can be done using the concept called regular expressions. The heart of the regular expression is this thing. Okay, the heart of the regular expression is opening square braces and closing square braces. Okay, somehow I call this as braces, guys. I don't know if this universally accepted language. I call this as braces. I call this as square braces. Is that what you call it as well in your respective states or in your respective countries? Is that what you call this? Just out of curiosity, I'm asking. Okay, I call this as braces. I call this as square braces. Is that what you call it, or some other name? There, I know there are some people from Bangladesh, they are from Ethiopia, some of them are from other African countries, some of them are from US, and some of them are completely from India. In India, this is what we use. Okay, this is the square braces, this is the regular braces. What about the other countries? I'm just out of curiosity, I'm asking. Somebody from Ethiopia, what do you call them? Or maybe from other African countries. What do you call them as? Like Marriott to what do you, I mean, what would you say? Same? Okay. Gautam, he's from Bangladesh. Okay. So he says, it's called same over there in Bangladesh as well. Okay. Anyways, so fine. So this is the heart. Okay. This is the heart. Okay, of any regular expression. Okay. Now. Okay. This represents what? One digit. Okay, one digit or one word. Okay, or one single. That's what I think. One digit or one word kind of says it all. Okay, so now you see. Watch here carefully, guys. If so far you haven't understood anything, okay, I'll say A. Now you see, this represents one single digit and it has matched all the first letters. Okay, now, okay, B. Now you see, it has matched all the first word matches all the first word of all the expressions, and the second word matches all the second one. Okay, now, okay, and C. Okay, now you see it has matched. Okay, now if I do D, unfortunately only these two are matched. This is no longer matched. That's not the regular expression I wanted to build. I wanted to build a regular expression which matches all the three. And if you say, okay, and if you say E, then it matches only these two. Okay, and if I say F, okay, it matches only the last one. It is leaving out these two. So whatever this regular expression that you have built, it's not good enough. It's not matching all of them. It is matching only few of them. Okay, so whatever I'm doing right now, okay, just ignore that. Okay, now you see, let's try to match these regular expressions here. Okay, now you see, as I've told you, this one represents one single expression. Okay, one single digit or word. Okay, now if I say A, it is matching only the first one. It is not matching the second one. In case if I wanted it to match the second one, I have to add B as well. So that, and this one represents not two letters, guys. It represents only one letter if you're talking about regular expression. Watch here carefully, guys. Watch here carefully. Since this is in the opening square braces and closing braces, whatever you're putting here, that represents only one single digit or one single letter, and here it is matching. You see, it is not matching these two, it is matching only one letter. So A is matched here, B is matched here, and if you put V as well, it is matching all the three. 1, 2, 3. Now ADB matches only one letter, guys, in a letter. Okay, in an expression, it matches only one letter. It doesn't matches three of them. Are we clear, guys? Are we clear with this one? Closing braces and opening braces represents only one single word, one single letter, or one single digit. Are we clear with this one, all of you? Okay. In respect of how many you put here, A B C D E F G H, A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X. Okay, I have whole alphabets range here, but it represents only one letter. It represents only one letter in an expression. Here it has represented the first letter, which is A. In this expression, it has represented D. In this expression, it has represented V. Are we clear with this so far, guys? Are we clear with this so far? Okay, wonderful. Okay, the first index letter, is that what we call it? Okay, let's go with that. The first index letter is what Raghu is asking me to use it. Okay, fine. Again, the second letter, again you can say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H all the way. Okay. Now it represents only two of them. Okay. Okay. Something got messed up. Okay, there's a double list. Okay. Where is B? B is gone somewhere. Okay. Okay, now you see this expression, this one expression represents the first index letter, and this one represents the second index letter. Okay, instead of putting A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, all I can do is they made it life easy for me. A to Z is what I can put, and again A to Z is what I can put. So this A to Z represents the first index letter. Raghu wanted me to use that one. Okay, so and then this represents the second index letter, and you can keep saying that. Okay, A to Z. Okay, and then okay, and which represents the third one. Okay, so you see in each letter, in each expression, three letters has been matched so far, because you have built three opening and square braces. Each one represents one single index letter. Okay, so it's matching. Okay, now let's look at the third one. Okay, I want you to concentrate on the third one. I wouldn't take too much time here. Okay, now you see, look at the fourth one. Here the fourth one is 1. It is not a letter. Here the fourth one is space. Okay, you see here the fourth index is what? Space. Here 1. So if you put A to Z for the fourth one, it doesn't matches the first expression, it doesn't matches the second expression. So what you have to do, you have to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 0. Okay, now you see I put A to Z and 1 to 9 including 0, so it has matched the fourth index as well. It has matched the fourth index as well, and here there is a space. I'll put a space, so it has matched this one as well. So now A to Z, instead of saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, what can I say, guys? What can I say? What is that? I can put it here. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Instead of that, Raghu says 0 to 9. Let's see if it will work. Okay, so I'll say 0 to 9. 0 to 9. Wonderful. Okay, wonderful. Okay, now it has matched this one. And there is a space here. That's the reason why I'm putting here. Okay, so and then there are double quotes at some point of time and all that. Okay, so it is such a pain in the neck to put A to Z, 0 to 9 spaces, and if there are double quotes, I put double quotes. If there are what is that, this, you have to put that. So is equal to is there, you have to put is equal to. So it becomes such a problem. Is there one thing which represents 0 to A to 9, 0 to 9, A to Z, spaces, double quotes, is equal to, whatever is there that one single expression which is there, which matches anything? What do you think, guys? Is there one expression which matches any bloody thing? Okay, which matches any bloody thing? Okay, yes, there is one thing which matches any bloody thing, which is dot. Okay, so dot is something which matches anything. Okay, sorry, star. Dot star is what it's. Why? Okay, so grouping is what it doesn't like it. So dot. Okay, dot, if you use dot, you're not supposed to use the grouping. Okay, so you see dot represents the first index letter. It is matching the letters here. Then I put another dot which matches the second letters. Then I put another dot which is matching the third index. Then I put another dot. You see, the dot in the first expression is matching 1. The dot in the second expression is matching I. The dot in the third expression is matching the space. Then I put dot. Again, it is matching 2 and G. Here it is matching 2. Here it is matching N. Here it is matching G. So looks like when I put dot, it's not accepting that opening and square braces. Okay, are we clear, guys, with this dot? Are we clear with this dot? Dot is something which matches anything under the roof, whether they are alphabets, whether they are numerics, whether they are special characters, whatever it is, it matches any of it, the dot. Are we clear with this one, guys, all of you? You understood the what you say, the significance of dot? All of you. There are 14 students in the class and I want the responses from each one of you, because this is very, very important. This is the heart of the Jmeter. What is that? Dot. Dot is the heart of the Jmeter. Without dot, there is no Jmeter too. Because without this dot, you cannot be able to do the correlation. Okay. So how many dots you have to put here? Okay. Here we have to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I have put 9 dots, so it has matched this expression, but the 9 dots is not completely matching this expression because it doesn't have 9, it has 10, 11, 12. So if I put 12, it is matching this expression, but it's not matching this expression. You see, if I put 12, since it has 12 indexes here, okay, or 12 positions here, it has matched this one, and here also there are 12 positions, it is matched this one, but here you have only 9 positions, so it is not matching here. So I want one single regular expression which not only matches this expression, but it also matches this expression. But you see, depending on the length of that expression, either you can have it match this one. If you put 9 dots, it will match this one, but it will not match this completely. And if you're trying to increase the number of dots, it is matching this one, but it's not matching this one. So I need one single solution for this. For this solution is star. If you put star, what does that star means? If instead of putting 12 dots, you will say dot and then repeat it. You say dot and then repeat it. How many times you have to repeat it? As many times it is there. If it is there 9 times, repeat it 9 times. If it is there 12 times, repeat it 12 times. If there are 100 times, repeat it 100 times. You need not have to count and then put those many dots. Okay, you just have to say dot, and instead of saying repeat the dot, you'll say just a star. Okay, or you can say plus as well. But plus is little rarely used in Jmeter. Okay, star is what it is used. Okay, so let's go with star. Plus also works, as you can see here, plus also works. Okay, so Kumar, show it to me in the regular expression by showing this plus. Okay, so okay, without using the question mark, I'll use plus. Okay, 1 minute, guys, let me do something here. Okay, so without using the question mark, I'm doing it. Okay, let me go ahead and run it. Just 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay, now you see it is able to pull out the value into the CSRF token. Okay, so the question mark, the plus also works. Okay, and the plus with the question mark also works. Okay, let's go ahead and look at it. Yeah, now the debug sampler is there and it is working. You see, dot plus question mark also works. Okay, dot star question mark works, dot plus question mark also works. Okay, so what is this question mark is also a question. Okay, we'll look into it. So far it is clear, guys. Okay, dot star, everybody understood. Dot plus also repeating that dot, dot star also repeating that star. Okay, I have an expression which is a. Okay, if I say I have an expression which is a, how can I match this? I'll just say a star. What is that a star means? Star means what is it? Whatever is there before star, you just repeat it. Okay, what is there before the star a? Repeat it. How many times? Any number of times. So it will match this one. Okay, it will also match this one as well. Also it will match this one, because star means it will how many number of times it is repeating, it will match those many number of times. But instead of star, I have a dot. So dot means anything. Dot means anything. It could be a letter, it could be a digit, it could be some special character. So that's what it is. So it's safe to use dot and then star, which means that this dot represents anything and it repeats any number of times, as many times as there possible. Okay, so are we absolutely clear as to why we are using the dot star guys? Why we are going? Okay, after dot, shall we use any special character? Shall we use any special character? Raghu, you need to ask your question. Okay, so you need to I didn't understand that question. You might have to what do you say, rephrase that question. Okay, so question mark means typically in Jmeter question mark means this is there also, not there also, match it. So that's what people use it. So whether you put question mark or not, still it will work. Just now I've shown you. Okay, if you see, instead of question mark, I'm taking away the question mark and I'm running it. Okay, still it will work. Okay, still it will work. Okay. Okay. Oh, there seems to be some issue. Okay, hang on, guys. Hang on 1 second. The whole thing is failing now. They are not allowing us to run it. Too many times we have run it and they have blocked us, I believe. Okay, so that's why I don't use this application CS apps. Okay, if I run it too many times, right? So they will block me. That's the reason why I use the other one. Okay, so okay. Anyways, so without that question mark also, I've shown you with dot plus and it was working. So dot star also it is working. Question mark means whether this is not there at all, it will still work. Okay, just go ahead and use the question mark in question mark also. Okay, so now you understood. Okay, now I think I've explained what is this dot star question mark. I'll take a break, and after the break, okay, I will go ahead and talk about these regular expressions, guys, and then I'll talk about why we are using the post processor. Then we go ahead with the matching number. Okay, so I hope so far we are good to go. Okay, and Raghu, so I'll take your question after the break. Thank you, guys. I'm moving to muting. I'm going to mute my session now. Just come back after 10 minutes exactly. So guys, are you able to hear me? Gautam, everybody, Gaurav, Diva, Achina, Agos, Leslie, Mediatu, Usman. Usman is not there. Somehow he's been skipping the classes. Okay. Sila Yusase, Scott, Mediatu, Nobel, Raghu. Wonderful guys, wonderful. Okay. So now you see, this at least this is clear now. Okay. So now you see, okay, hang on. So this was the expression, okay, which we are talking about. So let me take up a little bit of it so that everything will be shown up in the first. Okay. Now, in the first response, this is what we captured, and in the second response, okay, this is what was captured. You see, in the first response, this was what captured. Okay. In the second response, this was captured for the CSRF token. And you see, all the way till here, for the first response, second response is same. So this is what we call it as a constant value. And this is also its constant. But you see, this value is changing all the time. This value is changing all the time. Okay. It could be any value. This CSRF token, it looks like it's an alphanumeric value with some special characters. Okay. So I needed some build a regular expression especially for this one. Okay, and you know that in Jmeter or anything, dot star question mark represents any value. Okay, dot star question mark represents any value. This dot star question mark represents this value, and the dot star question mark also represents this value or any value. Okay, it matches alphabets, it matches numbers, it matches special characters, and it could repeat any number of times as you want. Okay, that's what star is. Dot means it matches any alphabets or numbers or special characters. Star means it could repeat any number of times. Question mark is whether it's there or not, it will still match. So it is there here in this case. So definitely it matches this expression, it matches this expression, or it matches any other expression if that comes back. So this expression which it is matching, it's nothing but the CSR token which we are pulling out. And how we are pulling out? By grouping it, by putting the group to it. So this is the whole idea of building the regular expressions and pulling out the dynamic value, guys. Okay, so I hope I have answered all these questions. I have answered all these questions. Okay, now I'll move all this from here. So there are only two questions that I have to answer now. Okay, which is what is the post processor and why we are using the post processor. Okay, this value that you're getting, okay, this value that you're getting, okay, so it is there in the response of this login 364 sampler. Okay, whatever you're getting this value, it is there in the response of login 364 sampler. If you have any doubts, I'll show it to you. Okay, so let me go to the response of login 364. Okay, now that I have cleared and it's not allowing me as well. It's been little bit of time, so I think they will allow me now. Yeah, now it is passing. You see, you run it regularly, these CSR people will block you. Okay, so that's the problem. Okay, now you see in the 365, in the response of 365, it will, if you go and search for this value, it will be there. You see, it is there in the response of login 364. It is not there in the request of login 364. It is there, this expression is there in the response of login 364. This time around, some other dynamic value was captured. You see, the server is sending some other dynamic value. Okay, so from the output or from the response of 364, I need to pull out this value. And that's the reason why I have added this post processor. What is it called? Post processor. Post means after. Processing means after it is processing. What is that processing? Request needs to be sent, and then the response is what we get. In the response, I need to look for something. So that's the reason why I've added a post processor, which means that after the whole execution is done, processing means what? The execution is done. Post to it. After that, I have to do it. So after that, I have to do something. What is that I have to do? I have to extract some value from the regular expression. I have to extract some value from the regular expression. What was the regular expression? Here was the regular expression. What is that I need to extract? I need to extract this value here. Okay, and where I need to extract? After the execution is done. And this regular expression extractor is a post processor. Post processor means after the execution is done, and in post processor also there are multiple post processors. Okay, I want something called a regular expression extractor. Okay, so are we clear, guys, why we are using a post processor called regular expression extractor? Are we clear with this one? What is post processor and what is the regular expression extractor? Post processor means after the execution is done. So after the execution is done, you get a response. In that response, I need to pull out this value. In that response, I need to pull out this value. That's why you have added a post processor. Okay. So with this logic, what is a preprocessor, guys? There is something called a preprocessor as well. What do you think is a preprocessor? What is a preprocessor, guys? Wonderful. Before you process it, before even the request is processing it, okay, even before the execution, you wanted to do something to it. You wanted to give something to the request. We'll use the preprocessor. Somebody has unmuted yourself. I'm sorry to cut you off. Please speak. Okay. I was not hearing any voice, so I had to speak. Somebody have unmuted themselves. Is it so? Somebody wants
Was
to
this
speak?
full?
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's fine.
No, nothing. I was going to say the same thing.
Oh, okay. So that's the logic, guys. Preprocessor. Okay. I want you to play around with some preprocessor because in the interviews, post-processor everybody would have used the regular expression extractor, because if you have to correlate, definitely there will be no script without correlations, and if you have to correlate, then definitely you would have to use the post-processor. But preprocessor is very rare. Typically, so you see HTTP URL rewriting modifier. See if there are any examples for that, or regular expression US parameters or user parameters. See if you can use any example for that, or user parameters. Try to play around with these three, or HTML link processor. Okay, try to play around with these three and see if you can do something about this preprocessors, guys, because in the interviews they might ask about if you have used any preprocessors at all. Honestly speaking, never in my life. I have done 2 to 3 projects, never had to use a preprocessor. As I am speaking to you, I have looked into something called this user parameters. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll use this one. Okay, I'll use this preprocessor over here for the login. Instead of giving the username and passwords, I'll give those same parameters over here. Let me see if it will work. Okay, so okay, so I'm just giving it a shot. It's a long shot. I don't know if this will actually work. It says user parameters. Okay, name is user, and it should be value 1, but it's saying user 1, which is a little tricky. Okay, user parameters is what it says. Okay, so let me see if it will work. I'm just a long shot. Okay, so instead of passing the username password here, I'm trying to pass it here. I don't think it will work because it needs to pass it as a request itself, as it needs to be passed as a request itself. But what I will do, hang on. Okay, let me do this one. Okay, username is Isha1. Okay, and then password is, okay, uh, password is Isha test1. Sorry, Isha test1. Okay, now I'll use this username. Okay, inside this one. There is a dollar. Okay, and then password. I've, I've put the password into a user parameter and pass that value over here. Let me see if this works. Okay, just out of curiosity, I'm trying, guys. So this is a preprocessor. Even before this request is executed, preprocessor will be executed, which means that Isha test1 will be assigned to a parameter called username. Isha test1 is assigned to a parameter called password. Before executing, this gets executed. So obviously this will be assigned. Now you're using that values for username, and you're using whatever the variable name which is there for password. Let me see if this works. Okay, just out of curiosity, I'll see. Okay, me see if the login works. Nope. Oh, it has worked. Wonderful. Okay, so let me look at that in the browser just to make sure it's absolutely working. Okay, yeah, it was able to log in with Isha test 1. Wonderful. Okay, so here, as you can see, guys, as I'm exploring in the class itself, I've added a pre-processor called user parameters. Okay, I've created 2 parameters called username and password, and I've given certain values to it. Okay, I've given certain values to it, and then I've used those parameters in this particular request. I've used those variables in this particular request. But I'm sure this user parameters is local to this request. Okay. In case if I'm trying to use it elsewhere, I don't think I'll be able to use it. So let me try to use it elsewhere. Okay. Let me add a dummy sampler. Here. Okay. In this dummy sampler, which is not a part of login 365, in this dummy sampler, I'll try to use that variables. Which I've created. Okay. So I wanted to check if these parameters or the variables or that you have created is local to this particular request, or I can use it elsewhere. So let me try to print it out somewhere else. So I've created a dummy sampler, and let me use that sampler. Okay, let me use these variables over here. Okay, what is this? Instead of saying username, I'll say uname. Okay, just to be clear, because there are other parameters, and here pw. Okay, pw. Okay, so uname, I'll use it here. Hang on, guys. So just to avoid any confusion, I'm giving a different name here. Okay, and same uname. It will definitely work in this sampler because you have added these user parameters to these samplers. But I wanted to check if this is local. Whatever the variables that you have created, is it applicable only to this sampler, or can I use it elsewhere? Is what I'm checking. So I'm trying to use the variables out of this sampler, and let me see if it will work this time around. Okay, login is happening, no issues with that. Okay, so oh, it is, I'm able to use it elsewhere as well. Okay, so you see the dummy sampler wherein I'm printing out the username. Okay, I'm able to use it. You see Isha test 1. Okay, uname is what? Okay, uname is what? Uname is Isha test 1, and that's what needs to be printed for the sampler name, and that's exactly what is being printed, as you can see here. After logout, then it is printing out Isha test 1. So whatever the variables that you have given here, it is not just local to this sampler. You can use it anywhere in this thread group. Okay, let me create another thread group and try to use the values here. Okay, so let's create another thread group altogether. Let's say this thread group is script2. Okay, let's say this thread group is script2. Okay, and this thread group is script1. Let's say. Okay, let's say this thread group is script1. Okay, now in the script2, okay, let me try to use that value. Let me create a dummy sampler and then try to use this particular variable in this dummy sampler. Okay, so let me see. Now I wanted to check. I just checked that these user parameters that you have created or variables are created. Is it local to this sampler, or can I use anywhere in this particular thread group? Looks like I can use anywhere in this thread group because I've used it here and it is working. Okay, the proof is over here. Okay, so you see here it says Isha test 1. After logout, it is saying Isha test 1. So that's what it is. So whatever the variable name that is printing, instead of that variable name, it is printing that one. So I can use it elsewhere in that particular script 1. Okay, I can use elsewhere in that particular script 1, but I have created a completely different thread group called script2 and try to use it. Let me see if I can use it, if I'll be able to use it over there as well. Okay, so let me see a view results tree. Now this view results tree is for thread gun. This view results tree is for thread 2. Let me see what happens. Okay. Okay. So Isha test 1, it is printing, and you see it is not printing the value. This for this thread group here, it is not printing the value which is there in uname. It is just printing $uname, which means that this variable that you have created, you can use it only in that thread group. out of the thread group, you will not be able to use it, which is quite evident here. You see, I'm expecting that it will print out the value which is there in uname, but it's not printing out. It is saying $uname. But here in this sampler, it is printing out the value Isha test1 for this $uname. So which means that the variable that you have created here, it is local to that particular thread group. I thought it was just local to that particular script sampler, but you can use it in other samplers as well, which is good. But you cannot use it in the other script. Okay, you cannot use it in the other thread group. You can use it in the same thread group any number of times, not just that sampler, but other samplers. But here you cannot use it in the other scripts or thread groups. Okay, wonderful guys. So you say, have you used any preprocessor? Now you can say that yes, I have used one preprocessor called user parameters, wherein before I run that particular request or sampler, I need to pass some values into it. So I've created a user parameters and pass the values into it. Is something that you can give out. Okay, or sample timeout is something that you can give. Sample timeout is something that you can give. Maybe sample timeout, let's say 100 seconds, 100 milliseconds, which means that it will give only 100 milliseconds for this sampler to execute, and within 100 milliseconds, if it cannot execute, then maybe it will time out. It will time out and it might not even execute the sample. Let's give 10 milliseconds. Definitely it will not execute in 10 milliseconds. And let's see what happens if sample timeouts. Maybe it will mark it as a fail is what I'm thinking. Okay, so let me delete that. Okay, let me go ahead and execute this one. See, oh, this is the problem here. Okay, if I'm trying to execute too many times, they are blocking me. I think I have to add a think time, so that's the problem. If I'm executing too fast, that's how they are knowing. Without the think time, I'm executing, right? That's how they are knowing. So let me add the think times to it. Okay, that's the reason why I don't use this CF apps, guys. I always use the other one. Okay, demo kicker. They don't have any validations at all. Okay, these guys, if I run it for more than 2 or 3 times, that too continuously, they'll stop me. They won't allow me to execute. I have to give like a 5 minutes break before I execute. This timeout, I'm really excited about it, guys. So where did I added the timeout? Sample timeout. I've given only 10 milliseconds, which is like 0.01 second. So in 0.01 second, it will not be able to execute. And then let me see whether it will mark it as a fail or what it will do. So I need to give little bit of time, guys. So let me give with the think times. Now I'm running. Okay, let's see what I mean. They will not kick me out, I bet. Okay, let me see. They will allow me to run it. No, they are not allowing me to run it. This is the problem. I need to give some time now. Okay, or else I would have used the think times right from the scratch. So I need to give 5 minutes for it before, again they will allow me to start executing it. Okay, let me use some other script, guys. So I cannot rely on this CF apps. Okay, so let me use some other script. I think I have the script called random, which was working fine. Okay, that was done on another one. Okay, so you see, this is the one. Okay, so I have a fish. Do I have a simple login logout script here? Okay, no, I believe I have a registration script. Does it have a simple login logout? Yes, this has a simple login logout demo of assertions. So let me disable this one. So I'll disable all the other scripts, which is purchase a product script, demo registration, but demo of assertion. This script is just a simple login logout, as you can see here. Okay, simple login logout, and here they don't have any serious validations. Okay, so let me add a preprocessor called sample timeout and give only, by default they are suggesting you to give 10 seconds. 10,000 milliseconds is 10 seconds, but let me give 10 seconds and let me see what happens. Okay, so first let me run it without the sample timeout to see what will happen. Okay, then I'll run it with this thing. Okay, so let me add the listeners here. I have listeners here. View results trees there. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let me run it now. Oh, hang on. So I need to enable this first. I need to disable this one. Okay, and then clear all the listeners. Hang on, guys. So just give me one moment. So maybe the script is not working anymore. I don't know. So just give me one moment. Let me delete all the unwanted stuff. Okay. So the script seems to be good. So let me run it. Okay, it is running. Okay. So let's see what it is running. Okay, there seems to be some issues here. Let me first figure out, clear those issues before I take care of it. Looks like the execution has happened. Okay, the execution has happened. Launch, click, log out, login. But there seems to be some issues. Okay, let me see what are those issues. Could be somewhere else. You see this yellow mark here, guys. So this means that there are two issues here in the script. Okay, so you can look at the log to see what are those issues. Okay, so oh, there seems to be some issues with the random CSV reader in one of these scripts. There seems to be some, it need not have to be in this particular script. In this particular load test, there are multiple scripts. In one of the scripts, I'm using this random CSV reader. Okay, and there seems to be some issues with the random CSV user. Okay, so we need to figure out in which of the scripts I'm using the random CSV reader. So let me see that. Okay, CSV data set, here is the random CSV, and I don't have this file anymore on the desktop, so that's an issue. So let me disable that one. Okay, so I've taken it out from the desktop, this particular Excel sheet that I've used for the random CSV, and that seems to be the issue. Now if I run it, both those issues will go away. Oh, those things are still there. Maybe I need to delete that completely, I believe. Okay, there is one more issue called user credentials. Okay, so this user credentials is there. So okay, even though I disable, it is still showing the issue, so I need to completely delete them. Okay, let me delete them. Okay, and I need to check if there are somewhere else this CSV readers are there. No, they are not. Okay, so let me run it now. This is still showing the issues. So later on I'll look into it. Okay, maybe somewhere else I'm using this one. Okay, but the current script doesn't have any issues, guys. The current script doesn't have any issues. It is executing. Okay, it is executing fine, as you can see over here. Okay, it is executing fine, as you see over here. Okay, so log out, login, everything is being executed. Now what I do is, for this login, I'll give a sample timeout of 0.01 milliseconds, and now I'm curious to see what would happen. Okay, it is failing. Everything is failing. Okay, so this sample timeout, I'm giving it only for this login, I believe. Okay, and that too is a preprocessor. Okay, but why everything else is failing? Even this script got messed up. Is that what it is? Okay, so let me see. Let me disable the sample timeout. Just give me one moment, guys. Okay. Yeah, this is executing well. Okay, now it is launching and it is able to log in. Okay, even though it's an invalid username password, it's still fine. Okay, let me give a valid username password. That should not be an issue. Username and password. Where are we getting this username password from? Isha test one. Instead of say J2EE. Okay, and J2EE. Okay, now it should work. Okay, the display name is ABC. Okay, now it should pass. Okay. Yeah, it is login, so there is no issue. If I enable this one, okay, is it applicable only to this sampler or every sampler? I believe it is applicable only to login, the sample time mode. But why is it failing all? I mean, why it is failing all the samplers? Uh, that seems to be okay. It's failing everything. Okay, because I think the sample timeout is applicable not to just this sampler, but looks like it is applicable to all the samplers, and it's a pre-processor. So even before you execute the request, that needs to be executed. But I was thinking that it is applicable only to this sampler because you have added inside this sampler, which is funny. It is pushing. I mean, this sample timeout is not just for this one, but is making sure it is applying to all of them. Okay, that seems to be the issue here. Okay, I'll come back to it. But anyway, the sample timeout, if I'm putting, okay, uh, it is okay. It is, you see, it is timeout call done interrupting. So it is applicable to all of them. You see, the timeout is not just applicable to one sampler, but timeout is applicable to launch, click, log out, and log in and log out. but I have added it only to login. Any suggestions here, guys? But you see, a sample timeout I have applied only to login, but it is being applied to all the samplers. That's my issue. So any persons here who have worked on Jmeter, maybe Abdul, I know you are working in Jmeter, and then there is Gaurav Date, you are working in Jmeter. Any inputs here? Because the sample timeout I have given only to login. I was expecting that only the login will have this sample timeout, but you see the sample timeout is not just for login, but it is applying to launch, click, login and log out. That's weird, okay? Because whatever you add inside a particular sampler, it is applicable only to that sampler, okay? Not all of them. Not sure why. Maybe I'll add it elsewhere. Maybe for the logout, I'll try to add that preprocessor called sample timer, okay? And maybe give 10 seconds, 10 milliseconds. Now let's see what happens. Oh, it is executing. Wonderful. But it is now timeout. Okay, even now the timeout is applicable to all the samplers. Okay, even now the timeout is applicable to all the samplers. Oh my God. Okay, anyways. Yeah, let me clear it. Maybe I'm doing something wrong there. Okay, so anyways, that you can say that you have added a preprocessor called sample timeout as well, okay, which will time out in that particular time. Okay, it needs to execute, otherwise it will time out. By standard seems to be 10 seconds. You can go with the 10 seconds. I've given only I've given only 10 milliseconds because I wanted it to fail, and I wanted to show you that that particular sampler was failing. But looks like it is applying to all the samplers, not just that samplers. I'll come back to you with a logical explanation of that maybe tomorrow. Okay, so you can say that you have worked with two post pre-processors. One is the user variables and the other one is the sample timeout, and the ones which you can play around is pre-process which you can play around is HTML link parser or HTTP URL rewriting modifier. I think this is an interesting one. You can play around with that. Okay, so rewriting. Okay, so try to understand what is this argument and then try to rewrite the URL. Okay, even before you send that URL, okay, you wanted to rewrite and add something to it. Maybe I believe that you can use it for that. So this would be a good one as well. HTTP URL rewriting modifier. Okay, try to see what you can do with it and then see how you can use this one. Okay, you can say any of these pre-processes. Pre-process that you have used. Okay, tomorrow I'll try to look into what is this HTTP URL rewriting modifier, and maybe if I can find a good example, I'll come out with that. Okay, because in the interviews these days they're asking not about the post process but the pre-processes. Okay, so with this we'll stop today's session, guys. So there is only one thing. Okay, there is only one thing which is pending that we need to answer, which is match number, and that will take almost 45 minutes. So tomorrow we'll spend 45 minutes looking at and understanding that match number. Okay, so that's about it for today, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. Any questions that you have? Okay, and is it good, guys? Are you able to understand the class in general and getting the depth of Jmeter, all of you? And is the flow okay? If you have any suggestions, please be open about it, guys. I'll try to incorporate them. That will help me to become a better, trainer. Okay. And as an example, you can play around with some of the preprocessors and come out with some logical explanations, guys, and give it to me. Okay. And let me know what is that preprocessor that you play around. Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you.